Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour.
You want to hear something funny?
All right.
So I've got kennel cough, which is what dogs get when they go to
Jeez,
the...
what are you, licking your feet or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Well, there were 18 of us on a cruise and half of them were kids. So
There you go.
I can tell you, I got a pretty good idea where I got it from. But anyway, so Lindsay sends out this email. And I get the replies. For whatever reason, I get the replies to all the emails. And her email was, hey, 1 week already gone in 2023. Are you meeting your goals? And I was like, oh.
That's a great one.
Oh, that one's got a little heat on it.
Yeah.
And then she linked to a couple of videos you and I have done. But anyways, I saw some of the replies. People were like, you need to unsubscribe me. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a little
testy.
Getting a little testy out
Ooh,
there.
hitting home.
Yeah. A little kind of burns a little bit, huh?
You know, we do, our mastermind was not supposed to be about education. It was supposed to be about doing, but we are doing a lot of education these days.
Yeah.
So I have Real Estate 101 tonight.
We'll see.
We're going to talk about the fees that they're paying on the transaction so they understand what they're paying for. Knock that question out.
Yeah, I will tell you there is we do the disc profile on our 3-day class on Friday night.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to Saturday, everyone's got a pretty good idea of who all these people are. And I will tell you, the folks who are D's and I's, they really rip through their portfolio pretty quick. And the S's and the C's are just scared to make a decision.
So slow, yeah.
They will, and I didn't realize this till Catherine told me this because she used to teach disc profile to
large corporate.
Yeah, large corporates and mostly the C-suite. And she said, the problem what you have, especially with C's, is they're so scared to make a decision, they will sit and pretend, this is really what they're doing, they'll math the thing to death. They'll Excel spreadsheet it to death instead of just making a decision because they really don't trust themselves to make a decision. I thought that's interesting. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing in the mastermind right now is like, okay, do you have any more questions? Okay, are we finally going to buy our first house here? Like, guys, you're making it way harder.
So we had a meeting that said all questions need to be in 1 week before. So
okay.
We did. And then we spent another 30 minutes with a whole bunch of set of new questions.
Yes.
It's like, wow. Okay. So, I've come across, I'm digging more and more into Ryan Holiday and his stuff and out there. And where's it from? Epictetus? Yeah, Epictetus said basically it's kind of like what you said with Colin Powell, the 40% rule, right?
Right.
It's like you have a vision, then you take action, and then you bear it. Like you deal with your action, right?
Right.
And the C's and S's don't want to bear it.
Right.
So they will just question it to death.
Or
they'll never take the action.
Or they'll go back and blame whoever and say, well, I didn't know this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, well, that's called risk.
Yeah. It's called how you get an education.
Yeah.
You're going to be a great operator because you're learning it.
Yeah. This is called risk. Well, I didn't expect this to happen, that to happen. I'm like, that's what risk is.
Yes.
It is. You can try to calculate the unknown as much as you can, but no one calculated interest rates doubling in a year. Like that was unheard of, right? I was listening to Logan this morning and
or loan to value ratio is dropping. I mean,
I think anybody trying 20 what's interesting is our predictions actually came true by the end of the year. But anybody who tells you they can predict what's going to happen in 23, show me the model. There's a lot of people most people just shoot their mouth off.
Sure.
They're not really that, how can I put this? They don't really put a model together and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do in my portfolio. And here, so it's just a lot of people just shooting their mouth off. But anybody who says they can predict what's 23 is going to be like I don't see how. Yeah. I mean, Logan's not even willing to do it.
I'll give you two predictions for 2023.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
For most people, it's going to be exactly like 2022. Because for most people, they don't change.
They don't do anything. Yeah, they don't change. They don't do anything.
So if you bought one last year, you'll probably buy one this year.
That's good. It's kind of like Jim Rohn says. He would get
same. As
Jim Rohn would be brought in to help
Whoever, yeah.
to help guide some big executive team in energy or whatever, and they'd say, well, Jim, why don't you tell us what's going to happen? He goes, probably the same thing that's happened years in the past. Like, it's just going to be a little bit of unknown. But you're right. I mean, it was funny. We were doing our last 3-day class, and I can't remember if it was you or Catherine. Somebody got up there and said, hey, look, 90% of you guys aren't going to do anything.
I do that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I know 90% of you aren't going to do anything.
90% of you guys aren't going to do anything. So
Right.
we could sit here and beat these questions to death and all that, but, and it's so funny because you run into the guys. Occasionally people will come in.
Well, here's how I say: 80% of you are going to do absolutely nothing. You're going to sit here. You're going to love it. You'll give me great reviews and thumbs up, but you're not going to do anything. 20% of you are going to come into the mastermind. That's usually about 4 people.
Yeah.
And of the 4 of you, 3 of you are going to become millionaires, and 1 is going to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
How do I know? I've been doing it for 5 years.
I see this pattern over and over
What's going
again.
on? And then at the end of Sunday, it's like, I can't join right now, but I'm definitely going to join. I'm like, nope, you're not.
You're not. Yeah.
You're not. I've been told that 300 times, and only 1 person has actually come back. So I wish you the best of luck. I really do.
Yeah.
Go out there and crush it, right? Go be great. But
Statistically, probably won't
you're not coming back.
happen. Yeah. And you're probably not going to make it either.
No, they're
So-
not. No, it's okay.
It's fine.
Someone's got to rent the properties.
So, yeah, that's right.
Right? Someone's got to be there. So can't make them all millionaires.
Yeah. I think it is fascinating to watch human behavior
Yep.
because it rarely ever changes.
Yeah, so we're down to 20 spots left in our mastermind. We typically get about 4 a month, so that's about 5 months left.
And then
we're done.
actually, I was thinking about sitting in bed because I am just not sleeping well right now. But anyway, I was thinking, what do we do when we finally hit the 100? Do we still do our 2-day class?
Yeah, I think we do our 2-day class. There's another opportunity that we're building out for folks.
That's true.
Yep.
But when the mastermind's full, I guess it's, hey, you guys can get on the waiting list
No
and we'll
pun
call you.
intended. We're building it out.
Yeah. I think we'll just put them on the waiting list and we'll call
for
you
sure.
when it's ready to go. But yeah, we're kind of full. And
Or on our disposition list, right? They can do
Yeah.
that club, yep.
yeah, actually that might be the stepping stone is the club and the PBC. So we'll see. It's going to be a really interesting year, but this is what I'm telling people now. I'm going through, getting ready for the big year in review, which will be in February. Listen to a lot of folks, looking at a lot of data. Logan put it best. I was listening today on a podcast, and he said, most people don't read. This guy's brutal. You guys think I'm brutal. He is brutal.
What's the
Beat you to death with his brain.
what's the Jungian line? Carl Jung said, most people can't think. That's why they judge.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's hard to think. It's hard to separate yourself and say, I might be wrong about something. I have to learn something new.
Well, Jordan Peterson takes it a step further. If you don't write, you can't critically think. And I believe that 100% because I debate with folks all the time. And I'm like, these guys don't read and they sure as hell don't write.
Yeah.
So you just can't become a skilled, someone who is skilled at analyzing things without doing those two things. And he said, you know what? We know how well history treats people who can't read.
Right.
And I'm not saying they can't. They know that they have the schooling to do it. They just refuse to. So here's what's going to happen. And actually, I'll tell you in the next segment a couple of my little predictions coming up, and I'll show you the data behind it. But I think if you're sitting on the sidelines, this will be that time you go back and say, my God, that was one of the biggest financial mistakes of my life.
Hey, guys, thanks for joining us. Hang it tight. We'll be back here after this message. In the meantime, go to mrtxre.com. Check out our website. Hang tight. We'll be back. Good?
We're not in trouble, right?
He's impressed that we actually know what we're doing. That's smaller. Hey, good evening again. Welcome back. This is Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour.
So watching Matt Sorensen after the first week, he owns, oh my gosh, is it Adam Data? No, it's not Adam Data. It's one of the big housing. If you guys follow me on YouTube or any of these other places, you'll see I post this stuff all the time. But he said, big shocker, this is one of the lowest years of starting inventory. Okay. So he said, if you were expecting this big climb in inventory, prices coming down, people losing their, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I'm seeing some preliminary data that says inflation is now below 5%.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. The jobs report came out.
Thank God we had Biden.
Oh, yeah, thank God, yeah. No, that's not.
Go ahead.
So
I couldn't resist myself. Sorry.
So I think what we'll see is mortgage rates went down. So here's the crazy thing. This is one no one's talking about right now. Mortgage rates hit all-time high, not all-time highs, but hit, multi-decade highs in 22.
Sure, yeah.
They are down a whole 1%, despite Fed funds rates going up. So one of the things that I'm a big proponent of, and that is the Fed funds rate it's really interesting because it's like 10-year treasuries and the mortgage-backed security market determine the prices of mortgages. And I'm like, kind of. Like there's a lot of math.
There's not a direct correlation yet, but at some point, someone's money that is backing that paper is going to be tied to the Fed. It's just not a direct it's not at the corner shop.
Well, right. So here's where things get really interesting. Class A commercial real estate and probably B plus is going to have a really hard time this year.
Yeah, starting
because
March, right?
Why would you buy? I can go and buy treasuries for I don't know what's a treasury at these days. I can buy a treasury for
4%.
almost more than the cap rate of Class A.
Sure.
So why would I put my money in a Class A apartment complex when I can just go buy a treasury that has zero risk?
Yeah.
So and I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine Friday, and we were going round and round for about an hour, and it was a real fascinating conversation. I said, "You're right," because when you start comparing what's called the risk-free rate of return, then what do big investors invest in?
Right.
This isn't a conversation. This is insurance companies and mutual funds and pensions and all that.
Yeah.
But they do swing the market. So in any case, when you look at
They are the market. They're
they
the
are
institutional,
the market.
right?
Yeah,
That's
they're
it.
90% of the marketplace. So when you look at the mom and pop investor and when you look at retail sales, my suspicion is, and I heard the president of the NBA say this, and Logan is kind of hinting at it, we get rates below 6% in the fives, it is going to be on. And we are close. We're at 6.1, 6.2. I got my laptop here, but I don't have it open. But we're in the low sixes already.
Yeah, for an FHA or conventional loan. Yeah.
Right. If we see conventional loans in the fives, it's going to reignite this buying tsunami.
So when I first moved to Houston, my interest rate was like 5 3/4.
Right.
Like
yeah.
5 years ago.
Right.
I mean, what are we talking about here, guys? I mean, it's like, what are we waiting on, right? So if we're at 5 into 5s for conventional and FHA, which means we're going to be sub 7, 6.5 for the non-QM.
Yeah, we're at the 30-year jumbo's at 5.72, the 30-year fixed at 6.1, the 15-year fixed at 5.4.
Yeah.
We get most of these
Go
things.
buy a house, guys. What are we talking about?
We get these things in the fives, or and this was their other comment. They said we don't even want to go there. Let's just talk about a stable marketplace where everyone gets used to rates in the high fives, low sixes.
Sure.
There's too much pent-up demand on the sidelines.
There is.
And they're going to come for the housing. They're
Yes.
coming for housing. So, and the fascinating thing is that inventory is going to continue to be constrained because people who buy homes typically already own homes.
Yeah.
So they're just going to say, hey, until rates are a little bit more reasonable, I'm going to sit in this house until rates come down.
So what you have always said is happening right now. The guy who says, Jason, I'm waiting for the next crash. Man, the next crash, I'm moving in, I'm taking it. I can't wait. I'm going to build out, make $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Well, there is a crash happening, and it's on the investor side. How do we know? We just picked up three flips off the MLS.
Yeah.
Just negotiate it. Numbers work. 72% deal, 68% deal. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we'll take them.
We'll take them. So, title of our show is No Better Time to Start. Again, here's another prediction. You will do exactly what you did last year.
Which is probably nothing.
But you'll talk a good game, and you'll go to classes.
You'll show up to all the real estate
and
events.
you'll respond to a couple things online. You'll be fine, right?
It just breaks my heart whenever I see the guy that says, Jason, I remember when you did the case study for that big real estate investment group. I was like, dude, that was 2010. And I'm like, how much have you done since then? Well, I mean, I bought a house or two here or there. I'm like, man, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, and back to that Jim Rohn thing. You know what will happen in 2023 is you and I are going to find a multifamily that is around $50,000 a door.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've done for the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. This year too.
Yeah.
We'll just find a couple little duplex, triplex. It's underwater. It's horrible. Needs some love. But we'll pick it up for $50,000 a door. Put $40,000 a door max. Thing will be worth $125 a door.
Yeah.
We'll do that all day long.
We're getting appraisals back on a handful of properties we're working on that we've been working on the last couple of years, and the numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, they are even in the nearly finished but not completely finished condition. We're getting appraisals that are just bananas. So I think these folks that are just sitting here waiting, I'm like, I don't know what you're waiting on. I had our Properties and Pints happy hour on Friday. And we had a couple of regulars there, a bunch of new faces. There are always a bunch of new faces that come in. And one of these guys grabs me. He says, all right, Jason, so how much your price is going to go down this year? And I laughed. And I said, prices ain't going anywhere, dude. They're not going down. They may kind of flatline for the first part of the year. But if you're waiting, man, I don't know what you're waiting for. And then I sent out a message to our mastermind group. I need to send this one out to our email list. If you bought property at retail, being paid 100% in 2019, they are worth almost 50% more now.
Yeah.
So the strategy that we've been telling you guys for years now, where you buy two or you buy three and pay one off, you could have done that in 3 years.
Yes.
Less than 3 years.
Yes.
So
yeah, no one's complaining about any of that stuff. I mean, our portfolios are fat with that stuff, right?
I think our corpus syndication probably doubled in value.
Pretty close.
So I started looking at
1.6 to 2.8.
Yeah. And so I started looking at these numbers, and I'm like, what do you think is going to happen next? Like, do you think it's really just going to be 3% or there's a market crash? I'm like, dude, if you had gone back and changed your mindset in 2017, 2018, 2019 and bought 5 or 6 houses a year, I mean, you'd be sitting on easily $1 million in equity. Like, I sit down and do the math real quick. Like 40%, let's call it 50% because it makes the math easier. If you had a $2 million portfolio, you would have made $1 million.
Yes.
A $2 million portfolio is only what? 15 houses?
Barely.
I mean, they're not $200,000 houses, but they're close. Yeah. If you bought 15 houses.
Yeah, 15 at 180,000 is what I'm looking for. That's $2 million, right?
Yeah, that's $2 million. If you bought 15 houses.
Not even. So 12 and 180, 12 times 18. So 180. Yeah, 12 times 180. Yep. Mm-hmm.
If you
12 houses.
If you bought 12 houses from 17, 18, and 19.
Yeah. Which
is 4 a year. That's not exactly setting the world to work on fire in real estate. That's pretty easy.
$4 million now.
Yeah, it's worth it. It doesn't. So when people tell me like, oh, I'm just waiting. Well, you just lost $1 million.
Yeah.
You're sitting there trying. This is my favorite. I'm smarter than the market, Jason. That's what you're really telling me. And you're not, dude. You just buy them and wait.
All right, guys, hang tight. We'll be back. Okay, bring us in.
Welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Radio Network, the Texas Real Estate Mastermind.
Hour. Like Perry the Platypus.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're sitting there waiting for prices to go down, like I don't think you understand. This is the bottom of the market. We just went through the crash.
Yeah.
Even though prices didn't go down.
It was an interest rate crash. It was inverted. Yeah.
The real estate industry is technically in a recession,
but
prices are still going up.
Yes.
So how do I know that? We lost jobs in construction. We're losing realtors. National Association of Realtors believes
boo-hoo.
We'll lose. I don't know if it was NAR or somebody analyzes NAR. They're going to be down 20 to 25% in agents.
Yeah, of course.
Title companies are going out of business and firing folks.
Yeah. Mortgage companies. It.
So technically, we are in a recession.
Downsizing to a closet now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This big boiler room went down to like a closet.
Yeah, it's just a couple of folks working. Yeah. But in any case, we went from the housing industry is in a recession. But here's what we also know: it's 20% of GDP, so they can't allow housing to crash
for too long. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen, guys. If you had told me a year ago, Jason, they're going to double interest rates and houses are still going to be up almost 20% year over year, I would have said you are insane. I don't think the market's that resilient. But that's what happened. We doubled interest rates and prices are still going up.
Yes.
I mean, it's absolute. I think sales are down like 40% year over year. But they just took inventory. Sellers.
Still strong jobs reports.
Jobs reports crazy. And it's even crazier in Texas. I posted the U-Haul statistics again.
It's up 4%.
Yeah, it's the number one destination.
Yep.
Is Texas for people moving from U-Haul. It is Texas.
Yeah.
And then of course Florida and a couple other places pop up.
We've added 4% more jobs from last year,
which is a big number.
Huge number.
That's a big number because
it's a massive number. Yeah, because the workforce is only about 56%.
Yeah. So we added 4% of the net jobs are here here in Texas.
Yep.
So I don't, if you're waiting, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't, someone still needs to explain to me the model and the mechanics behind a real estate crash.
Yeah, you're just, it's.
Like I said, I am, for me, so this is our first day back. I feel like this is, I'm not quite in January yet. And I don't know if I'm going to produce Project Mayhem, where I'm just going to tell everybody the world's going to end, don't get in real estate, which I may do anyway. I mean, screw it. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's, I think if you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, it's just, I don't know what you're looking, like it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, somebody says, well, Jason, prices are going to go down. I'm like, you're not rational.
That's exactly right. They're not dealing in reality. It's their own craziness, right?
Yeah.
It's their own stink.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Don't bring that stink over here, dude. I don't want
take
it.
that nonsense somewhere else. Yep. And then I also ask them, well, if you think the market's going to crash, why don't you just sell me all your properties?
Yeah, well, they don't have any.
Well, that's true. But anyway, so I sit here and look at it. For those of you actually buying real estate, this is going to be a fun year.
Come on out to our complete real estate investing. It's third weekend this month. It's going to be a whopping $97. Go to MRTXRE. You're going to go right there. You're going to see the event, Complete Real Estate Investing. Sign up. We'll have 20 to 30 people in the room, and 3 to 5 of you or go ahead and move forward and join the mastermind. And of the 4 that join the mastermind, like we said, 3 are going to become real estate millionaires, and 1 of you is going to quit. It's not... It has become so apparent to us. And again, we've talked about how transient the business is and how sort of high school-y the business is, right? It's like, you're looking at people and it's like, listen, let me put it to you another way. It is a very low bar for success in real estate.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because guys who don't graduate high school, right, who are roofers, have more properties than the civil engineer who works for, or the geologist who works for, Halliburton.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Right? How does that guy? He's got more properties than you, making more money, has better vacations, better life, more toys, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about education.
You smart college guy over here.
It's not about education, right? It's going to be about it's about taking action. And, some people are going to get it and move in, and some people are not.
So Mike Simonson at Altos Research just sent out another email. He does these things weekly. Mm-hmm. And he said, with 1 week of January under our belt, we still see the hangover of the New Year's weekend in the housing data. And available inventory of homes for sale declined last week. There are 40% fewer homes on the market now than when we started the 2020 pre-pandemic.
Wow.
That is insane.
Right, so of course prices are going up.
Yeah, or they're holding, right?
Yep.
So in any case, he's got a new video out. You guys can watch that. Altos Research is fantastic. Mike's one of the few guys out there that's not crazy. So, this whole waiting around.
I don't know.
It really does. I don't know why it just reminds me of this, but it reminds me, if you guys ever watch The Tender Swindler, the very end of The Tender Swindler, you've got to watch it. The best part of The Tender Swindler.
I didn't see the vegan girl lady. I didn't see any of that stuff.
Okay, so the best part of The Tender Swindler is right there at the end when the gal they're interviewing says, the interviewer, because most of the time in those documentaries, you don't hear the interviewer's voice unless they want you to really get the question he's asking. Mm-hmm. He says, so you still going to use Tender? And she's like, oh yeah, I've been on Tender almost 10 years. And I'm like,
well, there's a problem.
What? What? It's that, Jason, I've been in real estate. I've been in all these rooms. I've been in all
20
these
years.
masterminds, 20 years.
I remember when so-and-so used to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know who that person is, but.
And you always want to ask, like, if you're so successful, why are you here?
Well, there's some legitimacy to that. I mean, they just don't have any friends, right? They get lost in that. They don't understand.
Get a little lonely.
They don't. Yeah, it's going to be a problem, right? Or they're just not. It's the one transaction a month, right?
Yeah, it's like, are you really serious about building a portfolio, about building wealth? There's only one way that it happens,
Right.
and you have to do it. And you've got to be in a group of people who are actually doing it, not sitting around waiting for something to happen. So the hair sticks up on the back of my neck when someone says, well, I need more education, I need more hand-holding, I need this. No, you need to buy this property right here. This is what you need to do. You need to buy
See the
this.
vision. You got 40% of the data. Take action.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not moving based on those criteria, I can't help you.
I wonder, and it's mostly men, right? I mean, we've got 20% of our masterminders are women, but
23%.
23% are women. Yes. Okay. So whenever I'm sitting down with some of these guys, I'm like, how did you ever date your wife? Like, what did you do? You put a spreadsheet together?
Right.
Like you
Did your roommate set you up? Because I'm your roommate, and I'm telling you to go date this house.
Yeah, I'm telling you to go date this house.
Just go.
And if you don't like it, just sell and get a no.
Right.
Like, just do something here, dude. Don't need to sit in the dorm room.
Yeah.
All day long. I mean, you got to go. Like, let's go live some life here. So when folks tell me, "Oh, Jason, I look at a lot of deals, and I just don't think there's any deals out there," I'm like,
"Oh my God."
Well, wait a minute. You're telling me there's not a lot of deals out there, and I can't raise money fast enough.
Sure.
Or get the rehabs done fast enough to go buy the next one.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
What's that?
How much time we have left, Darryl?
35. But we have another segment, right?
All right. We'll cover this when we come back.
Okay.
So, hey guys, this is Robert and Jason. Hang tight. We'll be back. Make sure you go to MRTXRE and go check out REI to go check out our 3-day event. If you're ready to take some action this year, if you're ready to get started, you're ready to become a real estate millionaire, you want to actually get all those plans done, come see us. We'll show you how. We'd love to have you a part of it. I still got another minute?
15 seconds.
All right, keep talking. All right, look, here's the deal. We need 30 of you in the room so 3 of you can move forward. And the 3 that move forward are going to become millionaires. That's just what we're doing. I don't know how any way else to sell it. We just met this weekend with 9 of our folks, and 7 of them have already made $1 million. So we'd love to have you there. Go to MRTXREI.com. MRTXREI.com. We'll see you then. Yep. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. So you know what did motivate people? Holy cow.
What motivated people?
They lost a crap ton in the market.
Yeah, most people lost between 20
Oh,
and 25%.
my God. We got so many people asking us, hey, I'll do that note. What are you guys paying? Hey, I'm interested in doing some lending. Oh, of course you are.
Yeah, no one's talking about the crash in the Dow and S&P and, God forbid, Bitcoin at this point. I mean, yeah, it's not looking good for your stock portfolio.
No, it is bad, right? And so those folks that have got it now realize, hey, and I'm going to say we met a handful of these guys a year ago.
Yeah.
After that market ride, right after that March 2020.
Yeah, so if you guys remember the market crash right after COVID, not crash, but it lost a lot of value.
Market 20, yeah.
And then the ride up until about early 2022.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, hey, guys, this market's getting a little hot.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden.
Pull some profit here, yeah.
And now all of a sudden, 25% down. It's, whew.
We've met a number of guys who said, yeah, I'm not going to do real estate. I'm going to stay in the market.
Yeah, we're like,
I'm going to do Bitcoin. I'm going to do currency.
Oh, yeah, that worked out well.
I'm like, oh, my God.
If you guys, as much talk about inflation, the dollar is extremely strong. So a lot of the inflation hawks that are talking about, Jason, the value of the dollar is going down. I'm like, not relative to other currencies.
No.
You're kind of missing the global picture here. So if some of these guys were trading currencies against the dollar, they got whooped.
Yeah. However, it is a great time to visit England, right?
It is. It's a great time.
Your dollar goes off.
You know what I was looking at the other day? I was on the DuPont registry because they pop up in my Facebook feed all the time. And there's an air-cooled Porsche, what do they call them? Like the Club Sport air-cooled one. And I was like, and it was in England. And I'm like, if there's any time to buy it, it's now because it's half price, right?
Yep.
So anyway, I saw that and I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's time to stroke that check, put it on the slow boat over here to Houston.
Yeah, a lot of our old friends have come back this last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Got some money to place.
Hey guys, I got a little bit of money I need to put to work.
I'm not doing that anymore. Not going over this. I'm going to go over you guys. Yep.
Let me explain something to all the private lenders out there. You're running into a bit of a problem. And that is there are fewer investors doing deals and there are fewer properties that they can do deals with. And you're sitting across the table from the S&P that's lost 25%, the Dow that's down 20.
Yeah, crypto 80.
Crypto 80. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, inflation's running 8-9%. I should get at least 15% on my money. And I'm like, who's going to give you that? Right. Because everything else you invest in is a loser. Oil's down 20%.
Yeah.
Everything else you invest in is a complete loser. Mm-hmm. So tell me why I have to jack my rates up because of inflation. I'm like, nah, that's not how that's going to work. That's not how that's going to work. Best of luck to you.
Yeah. In fact, we don't have enough properties to satisfy all our
Yeah, I had a bunch of private lenders hit me up and they were like, hey, man, I'm looking for this and this and this. And I'm like, literally like, I had 3 projects to fund, 4, and they're all gone. Yep. They were gone in 24 hours. So, which is okay. We got some other stuff we're buying. But I'm like, I mean, if you're just doing the first deed, second deed lending, do not wait. Take what you can get.
Yeah.
And you're not getting 15%. Like, you got to take what you can get and go because I think there are a lot of investors who are so scared. Again, investors are pulling back because of uncertainty. And when investors tell me, Jason, I'm going to make a bunch of money in the next crash, I'm like, no, you're not. You can't even take action now.
Right.
You're telling me you're going to take action when the world's falling apart? Whatever, dude. You're not. So, in fact, a lot of these folks don't understand that, why would you, this is what really gets interesting. If you run a real estate portfolio,
yeah,
then dollar cost average your debt.
Yes.
And they don't understand that. Where it's like, okay, I'm going to buy this house. I'm in for $150,000. Oh my God, market crashes 30%. Then buy that one next door for $100.
Right.
Oh, it's going to keep crashing. Then buy that one for $75. And then buy it all the way up.
Yeah.
So your basis across all those properties, you got a really great deal.
No, that's what you and I are doing right now.
That's exactly what we're doing. So I'm like, if the market, they were like, Jason, what happens if the market crashes? I'm like, I'm going to buy more.
Yep.
I'm going to keep buying more. Rents aren't going down, so they still cash flow.
Yep.
I'm just going to keep buying. Well, what happens if you can't get them refied? I'm going to extend some loans.
Yep.
Hey, guys, need some loan extensions here. Unless you want to take the property back, and no lender in their right mind wants the property back when the market's crashing.
Go ahead.
You can have it back.
I'll give you a point. We'll extend another 6 months per year.
Another 12 months.
Haven't missed a payment. Let's just
these these crashes don't last long.
No.
They're out, and then all of a sudden there's so much money out there, and they're like, we're ready to refinance you guys. What do you got? Here's $5 million of real estate. And they're like, okay. And off to the races you go. So,
yeah, we just met with our the property management company that we're partners in. It's the Texas Property Management Company. Look them up online. They're the best property management company in Texas.
And they are not the cheapest. So
well, they actually answer the phone, so that makes them expensive. Yes.
The joke is, I was like, guys, we're going to run a campaign. It's called We Answer the Phone.
We Answer the Phone.
And they all laughed at that.
Yep. So we were talking to them. We're like, hey, man, what is March going to look like? Are we prepared for March? We just had that meeting. It's like, well, I got to get this person hired. I'm like, yeah, I need another person over here. Mm-hmm. We need to get some training done over here. We need this new software in place because, hey, March, April, May are going to be pretty busy around here because rents didn't go down, and we're going to be sending out notices. Extend 1 year, and here's the new rent rate, right?
Well, we had some of our GPs in our meeting Saturday morning.
Yep.
So Saturday morning was GP day for all the general partners in our syndications and funds. And one of the folks shared with us, they said, we had put our property on the market. We were getting rents at like $1,250.
Yeah, $1,100.
And they said we just let it ride another month or two. Now they're at $1,350.
Yeah.
Now here's where people who don't see the big picture don't get. you'll hear somebody say, well, Jason, I'd rather take $1,250 now rather than $1,350 next month because I wouldn't have made that $1,250 that
Sure.
following month, right? So it's like they're looking at total income. And I'm like, no, what you don't get is when you go in for financing, I'm at a 6 cap at $1,350, not a 6 cap at
do not
$1,250.
understand that, no.
They don't get that math. And so I'm like, it's okay to miss a month or two of rent so you can get that $1,350, $1,400.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you catch that ride up, especially as we go into the spring when people really start renting. You catch that ride up because your valuation looks so much better.
Yep.
And people are staying longer. So like
They are.
lock them into that higher rate now.
And there's all kinds of little tricks we do. Like we'll do 50% off the deposit. And if you renew for a second year, we want the other 50%.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, hey, we understand it's a little tight, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's get it done. There's a whole bunch of little things we do in that, and it's working. But, we're about to get about 40 new doors online, and so we got to get prepared for this stuff, and we got to clean house in one of our little apartments and just evict everyone and do some major renovations and start bringing some people in there. So, we're working our portfolios. We're doing everything that we teach people to do, and there's no better time to start than now. Right now. Because most of the investors who you'd be competing with in a good market are sitting on the sidelines. And when we're getting wholesalers out of LA calling us and giving us like insane deals because they can't find anyone else anywhere else, I mean, that's
And their
a good
deals are
sign.
here. I'll tell you,
the deals are here.
Deals are here.
From national wholesalers. Like, we heard you're the guys. We're like, yes. What do you got at that? We want 175. Go pack sand. Well, what do you give me? We'll give you 150. All right, I'll take it.
I just sent an offer on a deal. This is a market that I did not want to sell this property, but we give the folks our mastermind first right of refusal. Literally, one next door has come up on the market, and I just sent them an offer. We'll see if they take it. I'm taking this one down. It is a great deal. Almost $2,000 a month rents. You'd be in for
Oh, my gosh, great.
180 maybe 190. It needs a big rehab, and the thing's worth 275,000. You'd have like 90 grand in equity. You'd be cash flowing like a monster. So we'll see what happens. But I look at it and I'm like, this thing's gotten blasted out 3 times now. So I know no one's buying, right? It's a great deal. They would have been buying 6 months ago.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening tonight. We appreciate you as always. Go to mrtxre.com. Check out our website. Hang tight. We got a small message, and then we're done for the night.